Democrats and their media shills continue to promote the zombie Russian collusion hoax, but reports of another foreign country meddling in the 2016 election could be very bad news for a party that is already in full panic mode. The bombshell Mueller report arrived only to be a dud other than the special counsel's breadcrumbs on obstruction of a non-crime based on a dubious interpretation of the law that Dems have pounced on to justify their impeachment party. Free Trump 2020 flag, limited time offer. But while the so-called resistance is all in on a coordinated smear campaign of Attorney General William Barr and mining the Mueller report for secret messages, it is becoming crystal clear that the real collusion was between the Democrats and shady Ukrainian operatives. While Mueller's report may have fizzled, the real bombshell has just exploded in a story that could prove to be devastating to those who engaged in a coup against a legitimately elected president. It's also bad news for those who worked on behalf of shady interests in Ukraine, which could include former President Barack Obama and embittered loser Hillary Clinton. According to investigative journalist John Solomon, the Ukrainian embassy has confirmed that a DNC contractor named Alexandra Chalupa was instrumental in digging up dirt that would later be used in Mueller's operation to take out President Trump, and specifically as it relates to former campaign chairman Paul Manafort. Paul, should crooked Hillary be tossed in jail? John Solomon, Ukrainian embassy confirms DNC contractor solicited Trump dirt in 2016, via at The Hill Opinion, https://t.co/250dcall5upic.twitter.com/kp4lipogo, The Hill, at The Hill May 3, 2019 via The Hill. Ukrainian embassy confirms DNC contractor solicited Trump dirt in 2016. The boomerang from the Democratic Party's failed attempt to connect Donald Trump to Russia's 2016 election meddling is picking up speed, and its flight path crosses right through Moscow's pesky neighbor, Ukraine. That is why there is growing evidence a foreign power was asked, and in some cases tried, to help Hillary Clinton. In its most detailed account yet, Ukraine's embassy in Washington says a Democratic National Committee insider during the 2016 election solicited dirt on Donald Trump's campaign chairman and even tried to enlist the country's president to help. In written answers to questions, Ambassador Valerie Shilly's office says DNC contractor Alexandra Chalupa sought information from the Ukrainian government on Paul Manafort's dealings inside the country, in hopes of forcing the issue before Congress. Chalupa later tried to arrange for Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko to comment on Manafort's Russian ties on a U.S. visit during the 2016 campaign, the ambassador said. Shilly says that, at the time of the contacts in 2016, the embassy knew Chalupa primarily as a Ukrainian-American activist, and learned only later of her ties to the DNC. He says the embassy considered her requests an inappropriate solicitation of interference in the U.S. election. The embassy got to know Ms. Chalupa because of her engagement with Ukrainian and other diasporas in Washington, D.C., and not in her DNC capacity. We've learned about her DNC involvement later, Shilly said in a statement issued by his embassy. We were surprised to see Alexandra's interest in Mr. Paul Manafort's case. It was her own cause. The embassy representatives unambiguously refused to get involved in any way, as we were convinced that this is a strictly U.S. domestic matter. Special offer, Gold Trump 2020 coin for 50% off. Get yours today. Chalupa, not to be confused with the Taco Bell value menu item, is a major piece in a puzzle that is slowly starting to come together on the genesis of the deep state campaign against Trump and how foreigners conspired with the party and political power to rig an election in favor of Mrs. Clinton. Interestingly, but perhaps not entirely coincidentally, Chalupa had retained disgraced creepy porn lawyer Michael Avenatti as her own legal representative prior to his recent indictments. Glad to have Michael Avenatti by my side. #Team USA. https://t.co.ja5zwo nmsg. Alexandra Chalupa, at Alexandra Chalupa December 14, 2018. Where should we send your free Trump 2020 hat? Enter your address here. The Solomon story isn't the first to shine a light on Ms. Chalupa's efforts. A 2017 Politico piece did so as well on the woman who played a key role in pushing stories on Trump putting ties to Hillary-friendly media lickspittles while in the employment of the DNC. Ukrainian efforts to sabotage Trump backfire via at Politico for iOS, https://t.co/sig4u4ufiopic.twitter.com/kriko0gwin0, Senator John Cornyn, at John Cornyn January 11, 2017 via Politico. Ukrainian efforts to sabotage Trump backfire. In an interview this month, Chalupa told Politico she had developed a network of sources in Kiev and Washington, including investigative journalists, government officials and private intelligence operatives. While her consulting work at the DNC this past election cycle centered on mobilizing ethnic communities, including Ukrainian Americans, she said that, when Trump's unlikely presidential campaign began surging in late 2015, she began focusing more on the research, and expanded it to include Trump's ties to Russia, as well. She occasionally shared her findings with officials from the DNC and Clinton's campaign, Chalupa said. In January 2016, months before Manafort had taken any role in Trump's campaign, Chalupa told a senior DNC official that, when it came to Trump's campaign, I felt there was a Russia connection, Chalupa recalled. And that, if there was, that we can expect Paul Manafort to be involved in this election, said Chalupa, who at the time also was warning leaders in the Ukrainian American community that Manafort was Putin's political brain for manipulating U.S. foreign policy and elections. And Chalupa confirmed that, a week after Manafort's hiring was announced, she discussed the possibility of a congressional investigation with a foreign policy legislative assistant in the office of Rep. Marcy Kaptur, Democrat Ohio, who co-chairs the Congressional Ukrainian Caucus. But, Chalupa said, it didn't go anywhere. Asked about the effort, the Kaptur legislative assistant called it a touchy subject in an internal email to colleagues that was accidentally forwarded to Politico. Things are really starting to heat up with Ukraine's collusion with Democrats, and in a sign of how hot that it could get, even the New York Times is getting out in front of what's coming with a story on the Biden family's dirty dealings with corrupt officials in Kiev and the son of the 2020 Dem frontrunner's job with the Ukrainian energy company. New York Times reports Joe Biden is entangled in a Ukrainian corruption scandal. As vice president, Biden pushed Ukraine to fire a prosecutor that had opened a case into a company that was paying his son, Hunter. https://t.co/7x Ryan Saavedra, at Real Saavedra May 2, 2019. Now that there is an Attorney General who is a man of integrity and the DOJ Inspector General about to release what could be a devastating report to the conspirators, things may about to get really interesting. You might like Let's Block Ads. Why?